Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's Mark from Powersonic and Apprentice 121. Today we're going to look around this Nissan Primastar and see exactly what it's got to offer. We'll take a look in the front, in the back and all around the outside, and I'll talk about some of the key features and things I really like. Let's get straight to it. Okay, so first up, it's got this new front end design. For those of you who are familiar with the Renault, this will look very similar. The Renault brought out a new series of the Traffic, and this is along the same lines as that. I like the new front end. I think it looks pretty nice. It can look slightly long on certain angles of photographs, but it really isn't. It's just a different shape. It's got the LED lights in the front, a nice grille, and that big Nissan logo. I think it looks pretty sweet, and we've also gone for the alloy wheels option on this one. I just think they look a little bit nicer as long as you don't curb them. And along this side of the vehicle, we've not gone for the loading door this time. For those of you who follow my content, you will have seen how we've had issues with vehicle break-ins, and it was to just try and reduce that point of entry into this vehicle. Before we jump inside and take a look in the front cab, I'll just take you all the way around the exterior of this one. So we've got the massive double loading doors in the rear. If I pop those open, it gives you an idea of the space in the back. Again, you can see that opens right up. I think this carries less of a payload than the old Traffic used to, but it's still plenty enough for us as electrical contractors, and you've got that facility of getting big loads inside. This is the L2 variant, so it's got a nice long wheelbase, and there is the little access hole there that you can see I've left open, where you can pop longer lengths of conduit or trunking right through to the front cab if you didn't have the roof bars on your vehicle. We do have the side loading door as well around that side. It's down this side of the van, nice big side loading door. And if we pop in there, we can see we've gone for the ply line option on this one. It was free through the lease, so we've got all that space to attach any racking down that side of the vehicle should we wish. And again, massive entry point in the side loading doors, which has got plenty of locking features on the front edge, which is nice to see, but obviously there's always room for improvement with vehicle security at the minute. That just swings down. Citroen did have this on our last vehicle, but it was a faff getting it on and off, so this is a nice feature that you can just open up that latch, it pops up, and there must be some magnets in there because it says stuck up, whereas the Citroen one, we was hooking it in and out, it was forever not been put back properly, and it was just a fiddle. So this is much nicer, just clips straight back down, locks into place. If we look in the front cab, you've got some nice storage pockets in each of the doors. We've got the little cubby hole here. It seems every little bit of space they tried to get something into. You see the cup holders along the top. We've got the space in here for charging up your iPad, sticking a few bits and pieces in there. And again, this seat that folds down, which is really handy, so you can, if you've only got a couple of people in the vehicle, you can have that down as a little extra space to put a cup into, or use it to store bits and pieces of paperwork and things. And as I said, this front seat lifts up and gives you access to that storage space. The little flap here does also come forward, so you pull on this cord there and you see that lifts up, and if we swing back into the back, open this, we can get right through to the front footwell for those longer lengths that you maybe don't want to stick onto the roof. And yeah, we'll have a little sit down in the front of the vehicle now, and I'll take you through exactly what it does inside. So it's really notable the excellent driving position in this Nissan van, and it is well established in the Renault Traffic series, so this is something that is already tried and tested to the large part, and it's really noticeable coming from a Citroen van base into this one that the driver comfort is vastly improved. The seating position feels higher, it all feels firmer, the upholstery just feels a nicer quality as well. So yeah, it's a big upgrade in terms of that into this vehicle, so top marks to Nissan on that one. There is also varied options between the dashboard as well, so you've got your screen over here, which I'll show you in a minute, which is all the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto and your normal radio controls and vehicle information. It does also have an onboard navigation system, and then in the middle of the dashboard here you've got your dials and normal bits and pieces, gauges, temperatures and things, but in the middle of there's an LED display which can also show you your next turn in the navigation, for example, or what song or podcast you've got going on, or if you want some information from the vehicle itself, so it's driver safety assists, it can all be displayed in that front section there. Speaking about safety, this vehicle seems to really have that covered. I think in the past the Renault Traffic series of vans wasn't scoring so highly on the safety side of things, and that has been massively improved, and it's spilt over into this Nissan variant as well. So you've got driver safety where the sensors down the side of the vehicle as well, so if anything's coming close down the side you get the graphic display on the van screen. If you're reversing, it'll bleep and alert you if you're getting a bit close to the car parked either side of you. There's a reversing camera as well, so you can see exactly what's behind you in a visual display on this screen in front of me here, and it does the usual beeping and stuff. It's also improved the crimple zones, I think they're called, in the vehicle, so if you were involved in a crash and there was an impact, it dissipates that energy a bit better, so it's scoring a lot higher on that front as well. But it has all the lane assist, driver assists, everything there to keep you safe. And yeah, the front cab's just really nice. So you can see we've got the automatic gearbox here. This is a 6-speed auto gearbox, and it runs park, reverse, neutral and drive, which is the change for me coming from a VW family car, which is park, drive, neutral and reverse, I think. So it's just getting a bit used to which is where, because obviously we're creatures of habit. You can also shift your gears in manual mode should you wish. So if you want to pop up and down those gears, you can do that. We've got the cluster on the front here, which is really simple and easy to understand. So it's buttons and dials, which I like. We've got the heated wing mirror controls, speed, if you want to vent external to the car or just recirculate the air, your air conditioning and your temperature. These here, so you can do if you're going not off-road but it's more unstable ground, just to give you a bit of a fighting chance. You've got your auto stop starts, turn that on and off, and then we've got the eco drive, normal drive and performance drive modes, and obviously hazards and unlocking the vehicle. This is a really nice responsive touchscreen as well, so there's lots of features in this as its own. You can obviously set different settings on the vehicle itself, so if you want to adjust your park assist you can do that. So you can see here you get your side detection, your rear and the camera. You can turn those on and off should you wish. If you didn't want to be detecting down the sides, you've got the option of turning it off, and equally you can turn any of the front or rear ones off as well and adjust the camera settings too. There are other apps you can pop in. You've got your applications, your navigation, your radio. Works with Apple CarPlay, so if you want to do that, or Android Auto, you've got that as well. You've got the 2 charging points in the back up there. All the usual vent outlets for the vehicle. Like I said, it's nice to have these separated off so you can get a bit of air at the side windows. The interior light cluster is as you'd expect, a couple of lights that auto coming off with the doors opening and closing. I do like the sun visors, they're especially large. Again, coming from the Citroen van base, these tend to be a bit small, and it was often difficult to keep the sun out your eyes, especially in the autumn and spring as that sun starts to get into your face when you're trying to get to and from work on a morning and a night. And then we've got the steering wheel here with your lighting control clusters, your wipers, and then the cruise control and all the other bits and pieces that we'll have a better look at later on. See the pedal position down there? So we've got a central brake and obviously just the accelerator, no clutch pedal on this. It does come in a manual 6-speed variant as well. Adjustment on the armrest for the driver's position, lumbar support. You can move the driver's seat up and down as well to suit, obviously, and there's plenty of headroom in this one. Lots of space for passengers. So again, in the Citroen it was more of a bench arrangement rather than split seats, so it didn't feel as roomy. We often travel 3 in a vehicle, and this is going to be a lot more comfortable for the guys and girls who are doing that. And again, you've got nicer headrests, nicer firmer seat. They just feel and look a better quality. And a more roomy cab, which is what you want when you're travelling around between sites. You don't want them all be cramped in there like sardines. And yeah, that's the front cab space. Okay, so this is the main console, as I was saying in the prior clip, and you've got your home screen, which takes you to a pre-laid out dash that you can have. So if you want to start a petrol station or your home or add another widget, whatever, it's all on there. You can connect to Apple and Android CarPlays, and you do that via Bluetooth connection, Wi-Fi, however it works. I think there's been an update in some of the vehicles and the way the phones will connect into them, but also you've got this USB port here for a handy way to connect and charge all at once. These are little buttons on the front I was mentioning, so that's your hazards. Obviously you can lock and unlock the vehicle, adjust the driver modes. There is an eco, normal and performance mode on that, And then again, you've got to turn the auto on and off, stop start things on and off, and you've got the off-road or uneven ground option there. And this is the little control cluster of buttons here, really simple and straightforward. You've got your heated wing mirrors, all the different options for the way you want the air to come blowing out, the speed it comes blowing out at, and the temperature. Really easy to understand and operate. Air condition button. There is a little 12-volt outlet down there as well, so if you was wanting to plug in a dash cam or something, you've got that there and covered. And just in the top behind there, you'll note a couple of USB points to charge other devices up. If you want to pop an iPad or a phone or a camera battery or something in there, you can do that. There is a generously sized glove box, so I've got the book in there. Pop that out, you can see it goes back quite a distance. You get a fair bit in there, so that's a nice little feature. And then again on the top here, there is also a little cubby hole where you can put a few bits and pieces in. I don't know, maybe a phone if you're wanting it out of sight while you're nipping the petrol station. There's cup holders which have little retaining clips, so it does actually hold onto the cup. It's not just a case of it being flapping around loose in there. It's grabbed it nice and tight. You've got the air outlets at the side here which will point at the window, and you can adjust these ones inside. That was a bugbear of mine on the Citroen, that this was kind of either pointing at me or the window, so you can do that now and keep those clear. You've got the auto mirrors, so these will put themselves in and out when you park if you leave it in the auto position, or you can do it manually. And again, adjustments there for the wing mirror positions. And you've also got the windows opening and closing there. This is for your headlight position, so you can move it from 0 to 4, and then to illuminate the dashboard as well on there. Steering wheel controls, you've got all of that taken care of as you would normally find. You can do your voice activated instruction, you can set your cruise control and other things like that. There is also a secondary stalk just behind here. I just have to start this to... Okay, so I've just had to start the vehicle and move the steering wheel, but you can see there's a secondary stalk here which is kind of your media control for your volume, source, the mode, and there's a little dial on the back as well which can swing you around the menus. That's the centre dash here, so if I just pop this on. Okay, so that's the centre console I was speaking about, and you can see you've got your fuel, temperature counter and speedo, which is both in kilometres and miles per hour, and then your central display where you can cycle through what music you're playing or the directions that you're taking through navigation, and like I say, you can put that over into, if we were driving, it would tell us the speed. And you can also have the lane assist in there as well, so you can see how close you are to other vehicles. If I just pop into reverse now, you will see we get the picture down the rear of the vehicle, but we can also see this here. It's this all-around detection, so it figures out if you've got any obstacles near the vehicle whatsoever, and they are in operation as well while you're driving along. So if you go outside your lane or something comes a bit close alongside you, this starts beeping to alert you to what's going on. A small note that I've found slightly confusing coming from a VW family car is the layout of the automatic gearbox. So this is the 6-speed auto, which is a really nice drive actually, to be fair, but it's the fact it goes park, reverse, neutral and drive, when I'm used to going to park, drive, neutral and reverse. So just getting that right is a change for me, but it is just one of those things. You can swing it over into manual mode as well if you prefer to shift up and down yourself, and again you pull back to shift up and push forward to shift down. And yeah, it just gives you that option if you were wanting to use it. The front seat also pops down, so there's a little releasing claw here, calling it a claw, but it's this little lever. If we was to pull that, this seat can then be popped down, and you get this little section at the back here. So this will open up, releasing this little stand, which you can pop in onto here. If I can figure out how you do it, I think it goes that way around actually. Okay, so you've got this little stand here if you was wanting to put, I don't know, a bit of a notepad on there or something, or an iPad. You can clip it in at different angles as well. It's this button here. I've had to just pop the camera down to get it in, so I couldn't do it single-handed. But that goes on there. You've also got this little section which pops up in here, so if you was wanting to store a laptop away or some bits of paper and things, you can pop them in the back of the seat. There's a little strap to keep it secure. So I thought that was a nice touch as well, just for inside the cab. The front seats both do lift up, so you can lift them up, and there's storage space underneath too, and we can have a look at that from the rear of the vehicle. So you can see in the back here we've got loads of space for the racking if we're going to put some in along this wall. massive opening through those back doors, and it does seem to open a lot wider than the Citroen Dispatches we're used to. Much bigger loading area. You'll note we've got a little 12-volt charging outlet over there as well, so if we need to plug in some extra lights or charging up some batteries, we can do that as well. Flyline floor, which is always a nice touch, and a really big side loading door, which allows us to get the bulkier pack out system in and out. Yeah, it is what it is in terms of the space in the back. We want it to be nice and simple for loading in and out, so there's no drop edge on this. It's straight into the floor base. This is a bit of a closer look up at your 12-volt charger. There's a little cubby hole there as well to pop bits and pieces in, should you wish. And tie downs, as you always want to see, all the way throughout the back of the vehicle, so we can get any loads secured. Just the one light in here, and actually, tell a lie, there's another one there. So we've got the 2 lights in the back. They're never the best, these van rear lights. We'll pop some LED ribbon light up once we start to rack this one out. Yeah, like I said, we got this with a ply-lined option, and we've got the doors on the back. They are split 50-50, really wide, so they're always nice to have. And like I say, down this side, we've gone for the option with no door, just to try and give it a bit less of a chance of someone popping inside. And I think it looks nice. It looks nice around the front. Ignore the tripod. So we've got the auto folding wing mirrors, so they will go in and out automatically as you park up. You can see the little sensors in the front here, watching for those impacts you might have. I don't know quite where they've put the sensors down the side and how they do it. There must be something in it somewhere where it knows what's going on, whether there's something in the wing mirrors. I'm guessing here, I'd have to have a look. But it does seem to know when you're near to an object down the side of the vehicle as well. You've got the camera on the back door there, and obviously the parking sensors in the side along here as well. Yeah, it's a nice van, gotta say, I really like it. So this is Nissan Primastar. I hope you've enjoyed having a look around this Nissan Primastar. We've added the diesels into the vehicles with the guys and girls driving around because we couldn't get our electric ones that would come fast enough and also have the range we need to get everywhere and go about our daily business. So we are going to move into electric vehicles. For those of you who follow the channel, you know I've got some on order. They were supposed to have been here months ago. Hopefully they eventually turn up, and I can show you some of them as well, and talk about some of the pros and cons of that, and we can demonstrate some of the range anxiety that might come with it. But yeah, this is a really solid diesel vehicle. It's got a massive fuel tank, a great range, loads of features and driver comfort, and a massive payload area in the back. And whilst it can't carry the load that it once could, and some of its competitors in the marketplace can, for us as electricians that's a total non-issue, so it doesn't really matter. You can still get way over 1,000 kilograms in there, which will more than suit us. And yeah, it's well worth looking at. Obviously I've gone for the Nissan instead of the Renault Traffic, and you can go and take a look at the differences and uniquenesses of each offering, but they are pretty much the same is my understanding, so it comes down to cost. And being a Yorkshireman, do your own maths to see which one might be the cheaper. And yeah, otherwise, thank you for watching the channel. If you've got any questions about the vehicle or you want to see a particular part of it that I've not covered, just let me know in the comments and I'll try and pop a little short or a clip somewhere else on social media to do with it, and I'll see you on the next one.